Okay.
Kathy, is Nancy on the phone too?
Nancy Clark here.
Oh, hi, Nance. Okay.
Hi.
Okay. All right. You ready? I'd like to call this meeting of the Southbury Planning Commission to order. We can all stand and pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Yes. One nation.
indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. All right. All right, let's see. Seeing alternates here. Let's see who we got. One, two, three, four, five. So we're all here. Nancy's here too, so we're here. Okay. No need to see anybody. All right. Okay. So we are streaming online. So everybody can look on the website for details of what's being presented. The screen is offline tonight for some reason, so you won't be able to see it. Technical issues, I'm sorry.
We do have it here.
What's that? Yeah, we have it. Yep, excellent. All right, let me read this here. All right. So legal notice for the Southbury Planning Commission, a notice for public hearing, special exception and site plan 80-30G affordable housing. Planning Commission of the Planning Commission of the Town of Southbury will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, September 15th, 2020 at the Southbury Town Hall, 501 Main Street South at 7 p.m. in room 205 for the following application. The application of Luna Holdings LLC for the approval of a special exception and site plan for affordable housing under Connecticut Statute Section 8-30G, 14 apartment unit to be located at 336 Old Waterbury Road, map 35, block 32, lot 22, zone R60. Site plan entitled Existing Conditions and Topographic Survey, 336 Old Waterbury Road, Southbury, Connecticut, prepared by Royargen Land Surveying, dated November 21st, 2017. Architectural plans entitled The Gardens North, a multiple generational housing project, 336 Old Waterbury Road, Southbury, Connecticut, 06488. 4 sheets prepared by Bennett Sullivan Associates Incorporated, dated April 20th, 2020. And engineering plans entitled Site Plan and Surface Sewage Disposal Plan, 336 Old Waterbury Road, 2 sheets prepared by Wolf Engineering, dated March 30th, 2018, revised May 14th, 2020, are available for inspection in the planning office. The land is bounded on the north by Old Waterbury Road and on the east by the Greenhouse Condominiums, on the south by the State of Connecticut I-84 Highway, and on the west by the land fund by Luna Holdings Incorporated LLC. At this hearing, a set of interested persons can appear and be heard, and written communication will be received. dated at the Southbury, Connecticut, this 27th day of August 2020. Planning Commission, Southbury Planning Commission, Nancy Clark, Secretary. Published in Voices, newspaper September 2nd, 2020, and September 9th, 2020. All right, first up, public hearing, Luna Holdings LLC, 336 Old Waterbury Road, special exception and site plan application under section 12, plan development to allow construction of a plan development unit PDU, 14-unit multifamily dwelling as a set-aside development under the Connecticut Affordable Housing Appeals Statutes, Connecticut General Statutes, section 8-30G. Close hearing by August 2020. Okay, perfect. Kevin, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Bennett, Bennett Sullivan Associates. We're architects and planners in Southbury. This is a 8-30G application for 14 apartments, 8 of which will be two-bedroom and 6 of which would be a one-bedroom. This is located on a 3.147 acre lot in an R60 zone. We're going to have the on-site septic. It's been approved by the Health Department in the state of Connecticut as well as the town of Southbury. We have gone through inland wetlands and we've received approval from them. It's been submitted to the Connecticut Water, and we have an approval to tie in for our sprinklers as well as our domestic water. We also have had it reviewed by the fire marshal, and I have an approval from them. We've made the revisions. During the process, 2 things were asked for. The turning radiuses for the vehicles, for emergency vehicles, as well as a photometric of the lighting for the property. And the fire marshal requested a turn off for a truck to park so that it could connect to the Siamese connection, as well as we've added fire hydrant on the street. So at this point, we're asking that this be approved as a multi-generational affordable housing, which means that 30% of the units will be mixed income units, 3 of which will be at 60% of the median income, 2 of which will be at 80% of the median income. And so that's basically the requirements for the 8-30G. This is basically a 2-story building. Located on a
Can't hear.
I'm sorry.
Do we have a portable mic by any chance? Can that mic go with you over there, Kevin, or no? Or is there not enough line for it to go? Yeah, you got a lot to go. Keep going.
That's good.
Take it right over with you.
I'll be all right here. I'll just speak up.
Okay.
This is located on Old Waterbury Road, Greenhouse Condominiums, which is a 24-unit condominium complex, which is located just to the east of it. You have Old Waterbury Road. There's residential housing here. There's a waterway in the back. Interstate 84 runs up and down here. The parcel is, as I said, 3.14 acres. This building is located in about the center of the property. This is an existing driveway. Up here, we're maintaining a long pine buffer here. There's trees that are located on the border there. This is a pine buffer existing on there. We're doing a little additional landscaping to kind of buffer the living areas. We've set it back. It's 165 feet or so back from the street line. I brought the driveway in with a little bit of a curve. This is that area that the fire department wanted access to the Siamese. There's a small storage building in the back for the apartments. The building itself is a colonial style building. The building materials will be clapboard, shingles, and architectural roof shingles. There's a requirement for 14 apartments would be 21 parking places. We've provided 24 parking places to have some additional. As you all are well aware, I just completed about 8 or 9 months ago a similar project on Roxbury Road that has 25 cars and it has ample parking basically at all times. It's worked out very well. The residents that are in there are very happy with living there, and the neighbors actually have gotten much better about that building being their neighbor because of the fact it's quiet. It doesn't have a lot of traffic in and out, and it's been accepted. At this point in time, I'd like to ask Ron Wolf to come up to talk about the on-site drainage and septic.
Good evening, Ron Wolf, professional engineer from Woodbury. And if you could all hear me, as Kevin mentioned earlier, we received approval from Inland Wetland Commission for the project, and also from the Connecticut Department of Public Health and the Pomprog District Department of Health for the on-site septic systems. The building will be serviced by municipal water, so there's no private well that will be required. For the drainage system, I'd like to go over that with you. If I could take that a little bit more. Bring that over here.
Yeah, just make sure the public sees that,
Yep. Okay,
the
see if
whole
I
thing.
can
Thank you.
try and work it from both sides. So we have the drainage systems, kind of two separate systems. For the northerly part of the site, we have a infiltration trench, which collects the runoff from the driveway, basically between the building and Old Waterbury Road. And the driveway is pitched towards that infiltration trench, and it's basically consists of a trench that's filled with porous stone, and the water that sheet flows off the driveway gets collected by the infiltration trench, and it's allowed to infiltrate into the ground. The soils are very well drained at the site. And then on the southerly portion of the site, and also to collect the stormwater runoff from the proposed building, we have a catch basin with a series of 48-inch leaching galleries. That was something that we added through the wetland approval process. We added the galleries and manhole so that the galleries could be cleaned if necessary and accessed to be inspected. So that's our first method of infiltration, and then after that we have a little stormwater detention basin also to promote infiltration into the soil. And then there's an emergency, if and when both of those did reach capacity, there's a stone spillway that the water would be allowed to trickle over before the water flowed overland prior to entering the Bullet Hill Brook. So we did design the drainage system for zero increase in runoff for the impervious surfaces, the building and the driveway. Also, Kevin mentioned that we updated and revised the plan to address comments from the fire marshal, so that emergency service vehicles could pull down the driveway and then make a K-turn by pulling into this area here, and then backing into the area by the building, and then making a turn to exit back to the street. We widened the apron out with Old Waterbury Road so that the driveway could also accommodate emergency service vehicles. Also in your file should be stormwater management system operation and maintenance schedule. That's something that we prepared specifically for this site. That was also something that we did through the inland wetland approval process. With that, I can answer any questions that the commission has or the public.
We're gonna go to the public first, but Kevin?
Oh,
Yeah.
You're all set.
yep, for now. Sure.
One of the things I noticed on Ron's drawing, which is the actual landscaping plan, is that we've created a hedgerow along the front of the parking places, which we've done in a lot of the buildings on Main Street, like at the Southbury Green and some of the commercial properties where it takes and cuts out the front part of the cars. There's also 7 Norway spruce that are gonna be added in between the existing trees that are located between the condominiums and the parking lot. I did keep it back. It's about 30 feet off the property line to the first car, and then there's the hedge in front of it, and then the trees in front of that. The front of the building will be landscaped, as well as have some guardrails for, protection from the cars when they back up. The other item is we have submitted our affordability plan, which meets the 3 criteria for the 8-33. This is basically the rules and regulations for renting, and it gives in there the affordable criteria for cost of units, and that's been submitted to the planning commission.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from your team, Kevin, before I go to the public?
That's about it.
Okay. Anyone in the public, anything, comments for, against? Come up to the microphone and just state your name and where you live in town and. Okay. Nobody? Wow, okay, awesome. I will go to the commission. Anyone on the commission? Bob, you wanna read that first for the public? Okay.
Can you hear me now? There.
Yeah.
Okay, this was a letter submitted by Rose Petrosky, 634 Old Waterbury Road. She wrote, "The reasons we should not have more condos on Old Waterbury Road. 1, a heavily traveled road with many hidden driveways and many accidents. 2, we have medical buildings at both ends of the road. 3, there are 2 condo units on the road. 4, Middlebury traffic coming down the road to the shopping center. 5, Heritage Village traffic coming up the road to get on exit 16 because they don't like the traffic congestion if they get on at exit 15. 6, school buses use this road instead of the highway. 7, high school traffic. Many students drive to school." And that completes it.
Thank you. Anyone on the commission? Comments, questions for Kevin or his team?
I'm Barbara Schultz, 672 Old Waterbury Road. I've been on Old Waterbury Road for a long time, up the street in where I live now. There are numerous accidents in front of my property. I do have a lot of frontage, but I can't even tell you how many accidents there are. That's not even counting the ones that go off the road at night, you know, and break down this or that and the other thing. Most of the time, the traffic is going too fast. There is a driveway next to me that people are disabled. They don't drive. There are 3 houses around them. We all do things for them. I feel like I'm taking my life in my hands every time I drive out of that driveway. You literally have to stop the car, roll down the windows, listen for the traffic, because you can't see it coming. Where I live, my driveway, I can see clearly this way, can see clearly that way. I look both ways several times. When I pull out of that driveway, look in my rearview mirror and there's somebody right on my bumper. The traffic on that road is very fast. Most of it, it's over the speed limit. That in itself is a problem. It's not a road I would ever want my children riding a bicycle on. There are some kids that ride the bicycle on it, but it's very dangerous. It is a curvy, windy, hilly road, and I can't say any more about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public before we come to the commission? Anyone over there in that corner want to say anything? Nobody? Okay.
For the record, Franklin Pillacy, I represent, well, first of all, 365 Main Street, Watertown, Connecticut. I represent Greenhouse Condominium, and the owners that I have spoken to, including the president of the association, have reviewed the plans and are okay, do not come here to object, but just want to make certain that all of the additional buffering that is proposed is actually done when the time comes. They're interested only in the additional buffering. They're not here to object or create issues. We understand it is an 8-30G, which is under different rules and different criteria, and we accept that. Again, we're just concerned with the additional buffering, but it seems that there is some additional substantial buffering proposed. We are aware that the affordability plan was filed. I am aware that it was prepared by an experienced land use attorney, so with that, we have no objection to the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public? All right, back to the commission. Oh, one more.
Ron Wolf, I just wanted to address the comment on the sightlines, if now is appropriate.
Okay, sure.
Comments, at the same time, we received the fire marshal comments about providing sight line in each direction. So we prepared a separate drawing that showed the turning movements for a vehicle entering and exiting the driveway, as well as indicating on the drawings that the sight distance both to the east and the west were greater than 600 feet, which is more than what's required. Just to address the comment on the sight lines at this specific location where the driveway is.
Thank you. All right. All right, now we'll come to, Kevin, you want to talk again? Okay. We'll come to the commission. I know, Ron, you had a question?
Uh, 30% of the 14 units will be designated as mixed income units. That's 5 units. 3 of them will be 60% of the median income, which is somewhere in the neighborhood of $73,000 or $76,000. It's in the affordability. They range in price, I think, from like they're from like $700 a month to $1,200 a month for 2-bedroom, 60% up to 80%. Five of them will be listed as affordable. What do you mean? Oh, no, those are the four groups. There's two, and there's a one-bedroom at 60%, there's a two-bedroom at 60%, there's a one-bedroom at 80%, and there's a one-bedroom at, or two-bedroom at 80%. Those are the numbers that are there. They have nothing to do with my numbers. That's okay. We're proposing 6 one-bedroom apartments. 3 of them will be affordable. 2 of them will be at the 60%. The reason I did that is when I did my last unit, there were a lot of people that wanted one bedroom and that were older and living on very fixed incomes. And so I had a lot of people for the one bedrooms, and I only had 2 of them. So this one, I'm doing 6, which 3 of them will be affordable. Two of them, the 2 bedrooms, one will be at 60%, one will be at 80%. But the people that, I learned a lot in the last one of, all the affordable units were for people from Southbury. Most of the people in the apartments were either from like Southbury, Woodbury, Heritage Village, and the like. I've got, single parents with children. I've got people that have sold homes and are downsizing. I had people that lived in the village and sold their unit in the village and decided to rent, a one bedroom with a couple. So that was my reason for doing more one bedrooms in this.
Anyone else on the commission?
Nancy?
Hey, hang on one second, Nancy. Alex is, Alex up first.
Sorry, Nancy, I didn't have my mic
We'll
on.
get right to you, Nancy, hang on.
Can you just tell me what those symbols are there, this line here?
Oh, those are existing pine trees that
Gotcha.
are on the existing driveway. I'm keeping those as a buffer. So the driveway will be taken out and the driveway will become a grass lawn. But the pine trees that are there, I'm just taking them back and up to the parking lot. This is the existing driveway, it's coming out, it's moving down the hill and coming in here. All these existing pine trees I want to keep to this point. These couple up here will be gone, and then we're going to replace pines in here. So when you come down the road this way, this will be foliage. This is foliage on this side. The line of pine trees will stay. We're going to reinforce with some pines and some planting there, and the pines along this other buffer coming up. So you basically only see this project for a very short period of time.
And in relation to the existing house that's there, that you're taking out, where does your,
Here's the existing house.
okay,
It's just in the back of it.
okay. Did I miss that? I'm sorry if it was on the drawing. I see, thank you. And final question, I think. What is on the condo side, what do they have? Is it condominiums that are facing, or is it other?
There's basically a lawn area here, and the parking area is like up here, and the unit probably starts right about here. I think it's 100 feet from this property line to the first condo, and then they go and they wrap up and around the hill this way.
Okay, thank you.
So we can address their concern about making sure we have a heavy buffer
Yeah.
in that area. That's the thing they want. We gotta make sure we take care of that for them.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
I've got a lot of practice with that.
Yep, perfect. Yep, good. Okay.
Planted a lot of pine trees.
Nope, good job. Okay. Harmon?
Having the state had a congregate home on Route 6, they closed it this year. The residents used to walk, they had a job at the food center, they'd walk down Route 6.
Yep,
There's no sidewalks.
right.
In our comprehensive plan, they they wanna put sidewalks all the way down Route 6 to their Concord home. It's closed now, so there's no issue. But people here, if they wanted to get to town to walk, this Old Warren Road is a racetrack going down the hill. And there's no way to walk, I mean, for the people that walk down. So that's a problem.
Oh, I understand that.
So I used to see these people walking in the morning down Route 6 to work their food center, and at night they'd walk back on Route 6. We don't have the infrastructure to support, you know, really, low-income housing or affordable housing if you have to walk. You just don't have the sidewalks.
I'm gonna have to talk to Jeff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's gotta be a town thing, right?
That's it, yeah, yeah. When we have the
That's
pedestrian study
That's
next
definitely
week,
a town issue, I
that's,
would think, right?
right.
It's definitely not Kevin's.
But I don't have bus service either, or other transportation. So it's gonna be difficult for people without a car to live in this place.
Right.
Yeah, just as a follow-up, Kevin, of the apartments that you do have in town, specifically of the affordable ones, any of them rented that you know of that don't have a vehicle?
There's one woman who's handicapped and doesn't drive, but her sister or her mother will pick her up. She's a younger woman, she had a horse accident. The older people, there's a couple that have, you know, one car, and then there's a single with one car, and then you have, you know, the single moms with the kids, you know, where some of them have one car and some of them, you know, the mother has one, and in this particular case, it's all daughters, they have one.
Okay, thank you.
Nancy Clark? Nance?
Yes.
You're up.
Does this have inland wetlands? Okay, does this have inland wetlands approval yet?
We have
See any?
inland wetlands, state and local health, fire marshal, and the approval by.
I saw that. I'm talking about local inland wetlands.
We
yes.
have inland wetlands approval.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Will any materials be removed or brought into the site?
Nothing, no, it's no earth removals or anything.
Soil.
But materials will be brought in for the septic and the road and,
No. I meant soils.
no, there's no soil extraction.
Okay. I can't see from the data we were given where the parking is. It is in front of the building, on the side of the building, at the rear of the building.
Oh, you don't have a picture of it. It's in the front.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin should have it over here. We're looking at the photograph. Sorry, Nance.
So is it in front of the building, side, rear?
It should be on the line. Which side faces Old Waterbury, Kevin? I'm sorry? The bottom right?
The
Yep.
end, the small end.
Yep.
And I designed that like I did on Roxbury Road, so when you look at the building, you're looking at the small end of it, so it looks like a smaller building.
It's beautiful.
My question is the parking in front, to the side, or to the rear of the building?
When you're looking from Old Waterbury Road, Nancy, it's to the left-hand side towards Greenhouse condominiums.
So it would be in front of the building, in theory, if you're standing in front of the building.
Yeah, but it's on the left-hand side
Yep,
if you're
right.
driving by.
Side. Right.
Okay.
And again,
Just a note,
and again,
just a note, this commission encourages, we do have these colonial-style buildings, which are preferred. However, and they look great on the architectural drawings, and then you park here 28 cars in front of the building, and it looks totally different. So any way you can reconfigure the parking so that it is not the first visual, that the building is the same as is presented.
We're saying the same thing, Nance, but it's, when you look at the building, you're looking at the side from the front, from the road, and the parking is to the left side of the long end of the building. So you're looking at the smaller end of the building, and you're not looking at the cars, and that was, to Alex, your other question on those pine trees. That's why I kept them there, because they buffer the parking as well. So you only kind of, from the road, if you look at how you got it there, the view here is very small, you know what I mean? It's buffered as you drive up here and looking in, and it's buffered as you drive down here looking in. The building is 165 feet from the property line, it's about 185 feet from the road. There's existing trees out in the lawn now. I'm adding additional landscaping in the lawn area and reinforcing the side buffer. We're not completely camouflaging it. No, I wouldn't do that. No, but I've tried to be sensitive to. It's softening. It's very soft, and it will be very far back. It's not very much
You may want to show
closer than
that part
the,
to her.
it's not very much closer than the house is. The house is located right here. So there's a big lawn, this is landscape. Yep. These are all staying. Yep.
160 feet's a long way in.
It's a blip when you're on that road. Even when you're driving the speed limit, it's a blip.
I think you need to have one conversation, you have to participate. The question should be directed to the commission.
If you have something to
If she
say,
has a
come up to the
question,
microphone.
Yeah,
Well, I'll just repeat it. The question, let me repeat the first question. The question was asked about, is there gonna be any landscaping in the front of the building? And my comment was, it's about 185 feet from the road to the building. There's an existing large tree here. I'm creating around some existing trees here, like a landscaped area with some pines in it. These are all existing trees. These are all existing trees. And we're adding all this, spruce. Let me pass out. You breathe your own air, it's like your head starts going. But, so we're gonna reinforce that, and we will reinforce that to whatever you guys need. I don't have a problem with that at all. But it's also, from the front of the parking lot, it does slope up to the condos. These cars are gonna be coming in to a lower hill. It's gonna have plantings all across the front of the parking places, and then the pines.
If you could come up to the front and state your name in the microphone and where you're from.
So my name is Mary Flynn, and I'm in Greenhouse Condos, and I'm a member of the board. I think a lot of what I'm hearing from my neighbors is the concern about having to look out onto a parking lot, right? So I think a lot of the concern is making sure whatever buffer we put in there is grown. Because when you look at this visual, it looks like grown trees around where 84 is, on the other side of the property, and you're adding plantings, but we want to make sure that our residents, when they come out of their house, aren't looking at a parking lot. So that's our concern.
If you're familiar with 316 Main Street, which is between like the convenience store, the Old Cumberland Farms, and Denmo's, the whole front of that parking lot is two lanes of parking, and we planted the whole thing and put a few trees in front of it, and it really kills the whole look of the parking lot.
I'm Ann Healy, and I'm also a resident of the Greenhouse Condos. I just have a very simple question. Could you, on this map, again, show me
where the existing house is that's going to be demolished?
House is right about here.
So, right about in the middle of where the planned structure is?
Where the parking lot is, right here.
Okay.
So this is gonna be probably 60 feet, 40, 50 feet back from where the house is now. It'll be further away from this
Further,
property.
okay,
Further away
okay.
from, the first condo is like 100 feet up here, so you're located right about there. The parking that's there now goes right up, in fact, I think a little piece of it's over the property line. And the edge of the house is up in here. This is all gonna move back. This is gonna be the hedgerow. These are gonna be pine trees added in there.
Thank you.
And they're blue spruce, they're not the white pines that are out in the front here that grow and break.
Yeah,
and
make a mess.
make a mess.
Bob Harrison?
Kev, so to kind of put it in perspective for me, first of all, if I'm reading this correctly, the side that faces Old Waterbury Road is 54 feet wide?
Yeah.
Okay, so with that in mind, how does that compare to the structure on Roxbury Road in size?
It's basically the same building.
Okay, so
From-
elevation, height-wise, width, length?
Yeah.
Because the footprint looks the same to me.
Actually, the layout is very similar. This footprint is maybe 150 square feet smaller than Old Waterbury Road,
Than Roxbury Road.
than Roxbury Road. Old Waterbury is smaller than Roxbury Road. This is 7,050 square foot footprint. The other one was like a 7,150.
Okay, and then that outbuilding that you're showing, the storage shed,
Yep.
basically same thing?
Same thing as I did over there.
And that's going to be sided similar to,
Yep, like a barn siding.
okay. And my last usual silly question is, existing on the property now, is there any stone walls, historical type?
The house is, really, it used to be a barn. It was renovated by the E-Walls like in the 70s. It's in very bad shape now. Windows have been kind of,
Yeah, not the structure, but is there any, colonial era type stone walls that traverse through the property or?
there's one wall that comes out the back of the existing house. It's maybe just 20 feet long. It's just a little bit of a retaining wall because it has a walkout in it.
Okay, so
I
there's
don't even
nothing
know
that
when
we know of that's historical in nature that needs to be preserved?
I would say not. And then when we did the historic documentations of all the homes in town, it wasn't on.
It didn't hit the radar?
No.
Thank you.
Could you come up and state your name for the, could you come up, can you state your name for the public over here, please? Come up to the microphone,
They wanted
please.
to say it in the microphone.
Okay. Not on the record then, that's fine.
Well, the question was something about, what he said is the creek in the back. There's basically a waterway that we stayed the 100 feet back. We went through wetlands, they reviewed it all. It's almost a mowed lawn down to there now, so. It's well within it.
Thank you. Kevin, you propose to tear the house down that's on the property now.
Yep.
Do you pay for the disposal of it, or does the town have to take the
No,
whole
that's,
house?
all of this is my cost.
You'll take care of it out of town and dispose of it?
Yep. I mean, do you have room at your place?
No, he doesn't. He lives in the village, and I know he doesn't have one.
Well, when the Russell House got torn down on the corner of Old Waterbury Road, I think there's a big problem trying to get rid of all the stuff in our town dump.
That got condemned and
That's
that
taken
was
out of
that was a shame. I mean, that was something worth keeping.
When I did the math on the parking.
Sorry.
When I did the math on the parking, how does that relate to the parking that you have on Roxbury Road? Because right now it's about 1.2 parking spaces for, per unit.
You did your math wrong.
Oh, okay, tell me.
It's 1.5 parking places
Yes.
and I had 4 extra on that site. This is 1.5 per unit. 14 times 1.5 is 21 are required, and I have 24, so there's 3 additional spaces.
I'm looking at the map and counting. I must be missing some parking spaces, because I don't get that.
There's 24.
1, 2. Is this a parking space?
Yeah, no, those are cars in them. There's 20 there, you see the number 20, and then 4 over here. Those are just for scale cars.
All right, okay. I thought those were items that were there.
No,
Okay,
those are
all right.
4 parking places.
In that big spot off to the right as you come in the driveway is where the fire truck would go if something happened with the cars in the way,
No, over here. Oh,
right? Is that where you're talking about?
yeah. That was requested by the
Yeah.
fire marshal and the
Yep.
fire chief.
Yep. All the rooms sprinkled like the last one?
Everything's sprinklered, fully alarmed, all goes to monitoring and dispatch.
Anyone else? Sorry.
One more.
Go ahead,
Kev, the lighting plan, is that gonna be similar to,
Yep. And we have a photometric in here. You can see it's pretty extensive. All the numbers are on here. It's basically 0 at the property line. They're all dark sky compliant. They're all down. I've got, a few of them on the building that I used over there that were very nice. They're a very small fixture. They go down, but they give illumination in the areas around the entrances. So, but the lighting is, it's basically the minimum you can do. It's not lit like a commercial place. It's just enough for, and, they go off, I think at like 11 o'clock.
okay, thank you.
And
Anyone
the
else?
buildings are also, they have security cameras on them as well.
Anyone else on the commission?
Can I, Nancy?
I am.
Is the building sprinklered? Is the building sprinklered?
The building is fully sprinklered, and it has a hardwire fire alarm as well as smoke detectors.
Am I correct that this is not streaming? This public hearing is not streaming? I've not been able to access it streaming. Is that correct?
It's definitely streaming.
Okay. Should have tried it later. Okay, I can't see, do any of the plans there show the abutting structures? The abutting property owner structures?
No. No. All the lines are way back.
So all 3 abutters are residential,
No,
single family, is that correct?
Nancy, the abutters to the east, which is going up Old Waterbury Road, is greenhouse condominiums. To the back of the properties, Interstate 84. To the west is a residential house, and across the street are all residential homes.
Thank you.
Anyone else on the commission have any more questions, or anyone in the audience, public at all? Okay. So, we can close the public hearing. Okay, Kevin, your team's good? You guys are good?
Yeah, if you guys are.
Okay. So we can just, Kathy, we have to close the public hearing?
I didn't
takes a while, but we can do it if we have to.
They should be, they're supposed to be up on the website, but I don't know that they are.
Okay.
If anybody in the public wants something,
They can get it in the office?
Yeah.
Or online, okay. Okay, we can discuss this as when we talk. Okay, if no one else has anything else, I'm gonna close the public hearing. Okay, thank you, everyone. All right, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, hearing is closed. Thank you.
Will you have discussion, or here we go?
We're gonna discuss amongst ourselves since this hearing's closed.
Will you want me here or no?
we can't ask any more
We
questions.
can't ask any more
because the
to you,
hearing's
so we're
closed.
pretty much,
Unless you have. Okay.
if we have a list, we'll.
Okay.
All right, moving right along, unfinished business, discussion on the closed public hearing. Who would like to start?
Did she take her letter back?
Kathy, do you want the letter?
I think we should probably have it for the record.
All right, thank you, though.
You can get a copy of it, from the office. So they can, you know.
If you wanna write your address on there, we'll mail it back to you. We'll make a
It's on
copy.
there, okay, we'll mail
Okay,
it to
we'll
you.
mail it back to you.
That's.
No, we don't have any extras to give out.
You have to,
It's online. Yeah. Okay. 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 Finished business, discussion on the closed public hearing. Who would like to go first? Anybody, any comments, anything at all? Larry, Bob, anybody?
No, I mean, it's complying with health and safety.
I think it looks
welfare.
nice.
It's on a bigger
Yeah,
piece of property, which is
Yeah.
nice. It's proportioned to the building.
I mean, this is not his first rodeo.
no, we saw the last one, we
Saw
walked
the
through it.
last one, yeah.
It was beautiful.
2 years we fought with the last one, so.
Yeah. Wait, he did a really nice job, so if he does that again, I'm sure it'll be fine.
We've all learned from that process.
Yeah, it was nice. Okay, so nothing major on it, so, Kath, what do we do with
So
this?
for the next meeting, I'll put together a resolution of approval.
Okay. All right, that works. Okay, let's see, moving right along here.
I was
So-
just gonna comment, Richard.
Go ahead, Larry.
I own 3 acres.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, dimensions of this lot and mine are really, really close.
Sure.
I'm trying to visualize this building in the middle of my 3-acre lot, and I'm having trouble visualizing. Maybe just me. It seems like it's a lot more crowded than the drawing would suggest.
We were at first too, when we saw the last one, and when we pulled in the driveway, it looked beautiful, it looked like a big home. If you didn't know it, you'd think someone was having a
Again,
party.
it's my problem, and I can't visualize.
Yeah, it was actually kinda cool, it was well done, I was surprised.
Okay.
Have you,
Here's the
have you
record.
seen the Roxbury
Have
Road?
you gone to the Roxbury Road one?
No,
That
not
may
yet.
help you visualize it, yeah,
Yeah.
'cause-
Okay.
and
you
that's
pull
a
in,
smaller
it's-
property too,
Yeah, that was a much smaller property with.
by an acre.
Yeah,
Closer. to
with a
it.
lot of neighbors too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this one, I could see it sitting in there, I drove past it today.
Yeah,
And this, I mean, this baseball field's in front of the old building. It's what God sent to be clearing down that old building.
Okay. I will definitely visit this one.
Okay, good, okay. Anybody else for discussion on it before we move on? Or we'll make
It is
a
hard to
resolution for the next time for approval of that?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. All right, unfinished business, we finished, okay, new business. Martin's Aluminum Products, 1100 Main Street South, application for modification of a site plan to allow a change in the size and type of the storage building. Do we have anybody here?
He's here.
There we go. Come on,
My
here,
project
Steve.
is not anywhere near as controversial as that one, so, well, my photos are not as anywhere near as good. Of course, you know, when you need a printer and the ink has to be in it.
So just state your name and everything for the record here. and
Sorry,
then you're on.
my name's Tim Osborne, from Martin's Aluminum.
In your packets too, there's a memo.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got the pictures of it there.
Oh,
Yep.
fantastic, okay, excellent.
We got it all. Yep.
Yeah, so the ones I printed, of course, the printer, after a long week, is not, you know, as sufficient, but, so basically, the only change I'm making, the buildings look identical to the previously approved buildings. The only thing that's different is they're not on a concrete structure.
concrete foundation. These units have their own I-beam structure, so basically they just sit on a pad of either crushed stone, millings. Visually, they're no different. They basically build together like Legos. They're modular, so they're just your typical roller door storage. That's it.
Just because it was different than what you approved, it's not technically, it's more like modular units than a real permanent structure. I figured it would be good for you guys to
Yes,
just
but
review that.
they're basically going to sit in the same exact, location. It is going to be smaller to start off just because of COVID. My mother and I were going to pull the loan at the beginning of March, and that was when COVID first hit. So Martin's Aluminum came to a stop, like standstill. We basically were sitting around for 2 weeks with nothing to do. So we're like, oh well, maybe we should wait on this loan. And so here, this is kind of where we're at. So it's a little bit more manageable, money-wise, I suppose. But, otherwise, they're identical. Like I said, it falls under the same exact categories as everything else that was previously approved.
So basically, you're just changing the what's underneath it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So as opposed to being lagged down to concrete, they have their I-beam structure to be just independent. That's it. So.
And let's see, group same pictures we used. Okay. Color's not going to change, right?
There was discussion about changing the color. So originally we proposed a slate gray with the red doors to match the brick that's in the front of our current building. We did discuss changing it from the red doors to white doors, white trims, because then it would blend in better. Other than that, once again, there's no structural change to that. So.
Okay. And you wouldn't see anything with it?
Well, and the lighting that you're,
We did propose in the original buildings to have the lighting, downward lighting, dark sky kind of thing. I would like to do as minimal lighting as possible, just for cost basis, and it doesn't need to be lit up, extremely bright. So yes, it would be minimal lighting as possible.
because the access to this is,
Yep, you can't even see it. So right now, our building down there, we have a gated fence, and then the Martin's Aluminum building sits right on the front. We have a little tiny parking area in the front, and these buildings will sit behind. So you're really not going to see them anyway. We have two massive green dumpsters for recycling aluminum and steel that sit right in front. And personally, I think they're obnoxious, but unfortunately, that's what we have to have just because of the recycling and. Anyways, but so these buildings really aren't going to be visible from the road, anyways. And it is similar to Old Waterbury Road, where it's like a high-speed road. They did just chip seal it, so now people are driving slightly slower, but it still is a very high-speed road. So the window of visibility is very small. So.
And Kath, we're supposed to give them approval on this. What would you like to?
Yeah, because it was an application for modification of the approval.
Yeah, we weren't really sure. Kathy and I talked about it. We weren't really sure what the best case of action was.
Yep.
So that's kind of why we.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll second it. All in favor of it?
Is there a discussion?
Go ahead, Nance.
Is there an office included with this structure?
Yes, ma'am. So it's actually using the existing current professional office that Martin's Aluminum uses. There's no change to that. My mother's still going to be the one sitting in the office answering the phones. She's good at that, so we let her stick to that.
What are your hours of operation?
So 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's when people are allowed on and off the property. Past that, it's not allowed just because that's what we discussed previous. That does not change, and this is really just a change in the visuals of the building. So.
Just one more question.
Sure.
Ooh.
Nance?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that.
Do you have
Okay. Originally, was the inland wetlands approval? It's right next to the wetland. Was there inland wetlands approval originally?
Yes, ma'am, so that has not changed either. And I went back to wetlands, they had me post the medallions, the 4x4 posts with the medallions, in the setback areas, so that will not be affected either.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Anyone else for discussion before we take a vote? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Did you get Nancy's vote on the record?
Nance, are you for or against?
4.
Excellent, thank you. Passed.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let's see, under new business, number 2, Americom Associates, LLC, 120 Bullet Hill Road North, application for approval or modification of the site plan to allow construction of a 10 by 16 storage shed. Anybody here? Here we are. How are you?
Brian Todd, Corrigan Motors, Bricam Associates.
How are you?
Hi. Good evening. Mind if I
Go for it. Sure.
keep this off while I talk?
You're 6 feet from us, you're good.
Yeah. So anyways, 16 by 10 storage shed for the property. I didn't have the forethought to put that in the original site plan because I thought I had enough room in the building for outdoor equipment, mowers, snow blowers, things of that nature, shovels. But I found I needed a little more space for that stuff, for the outdoor equipment stuff. So, that's what the application's for. It's a pre-constructed 16 by 10 T111 siding, black architectural shingles.
You just have them dropped?
Dropped there on crushed stone, yeah,
Got it.
right in the middle of the turnaround. Meets setback.
So no one will see it, it's out back, no problems.
Say again?
It's out in the back?
No, I said it was
Setback.
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 Setback, yeah, from property lines and street lines.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, there's visibility because,
Yeah, I see,
you really can't
Yep. that's
hide
fine.
it anywhere. I have no other place in the property to put it, basically, that it would be hidden, but, it's, painted to match the building, same color, shingle colors, and all that, so.
Anybody see anything wrong with it? Landscaping around it, anything at all? Everybody's happy with it? Nothing? Good.
Did anyone check the setbacks?
What was the question?
Do we check the setback?
I did a staff review of this. Did you read that, Nancy? There's a copy of the site plan and everything in it that was sent to you. It meets the setbacks, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nance?
Aye.
All
Did you
opposed?
get?
Abstentions? You're good to go. Passed.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's see, number 3 under new business, Transylvania Brook Estates LLC, application for subdivision to allow a 7-lot cluster housing development on property located on the South Britton Road in Plan Development District number 21. What do we have on that besides this? No, there's nobody here for this?
Yeah, he's coming, but, I would, maybe you could skip over it. and
Sure, we'll come right
do
back.
something else and then
Sure,
you can-
let's jump to number 4, CGS 8-24 referral, offer of property donations. Let's see, which one is this? Here we are.
So nobody's here for this, but there was a referred from the Board of Selectmen.
Yep.
And I know that between, traditionally, these lots in the Berkshires, if they came up, if they abutted open space or something, the town felt that they wanted to acquire them. So the one on Potomac Trail, is this that really teeny strip there? I don't think that that's worth the town taking that, but the other one makes sense because it abuts, land trust and then town-owned properties.
So the town owns the little ones next to this big one?
On the Fiona Trail, the town owns, let's see, the parcel, number 15 is owned by the land trust.
Okay.
And 16, 18 is owned by the town. So it abuts a property that's owned by the land trust and then a private property owner.
Should we?
Yeah, this is your
I
ongoing
think it's up to
concern.
the Board
It's a
of
good concern.
Selectmen probably to walk it. I mean, or it could just be, a recommendation that, you know, that it gets walked to make sure that there's nothing on it.
This is a typical request for me, I bring it up every time. And it's just so that I don't wanna see someday that there, you know, a 500-gallon oil tank
Right.
that's been leaking there for 20 years.
Right.
And we just assume responsibility for it. So I don't know who in the town could put eyes on that, whether, you know, we can twist it to say, hey, maybe the fire marshal should look at it because, to see if there's a hazmat situation, or whether it be, I don't know who else from the town, but.
So we can hold off on this. It doesn't seem like there's any rush on it or anything.
We could table it and get someone.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, how about maybe enforcement, they can take a look at it, right? Yeah. They can go out there.
This is Nancy. Can I say something?
Sure.
In the past, the donor would certify that there's no hazardous materials, something. I don't know the exact wording, but we have it in the file. So that besides our inspection by the fire marshal, the donor would indemnify the town.
We would hope,
We can ask for that.
yeah.
I would suggest we ask for that, see what happens.
Not a bad idea either.
I couldn't understand.
Basically asking the person that's donating the land to sign off on something,
Say they'll take
stating
responsibility.
the property's clear and that they would assume responsibility should, you know, hazardous materials be found at a later date.
There's a form on file that we've used in the past where they indemnify the town against any toxic materials or dumping or on the site. You can find it's there.
Probably,
Whatever the town feels comfortable doing.
it's probably not worth their trouble because it's such a small
Right,
property.
like I said, whatever the town feels comfortable.
No, only
Just lay eyes on it.
only takes a gallon of gas dumped in a hole. We need the indemnification.
So we'll just look into that one further.
Thank you.
I mean, it's so small.
Yeah.
You would think the people around it would already know if there was, but it's so small, we don't wanna.
Well, we're also not gonna go out and soil test every
We
little
can-
piece of
I'm not
property.
looking for a soil test.
Right, no, I know, but I mean, I'm just saying that I could see both sides of this, where the owner would say, okay, but, you know, 2 days later, we come back and say, wait a minute, there, you know, we found all this stuff, and they're like, well, what has happened in the last 2 days? That, you know, somebody dumped a gallon of gas on the property.
Can
So,
we just table this to next month and
Right.
get some more information?
Yeah,
on
we
this?
can table,
Now it's
yeah.
up to us to get it filled out.
yeah, I
We'll
just,
just table this to
We
next
just,
month until we get a little more.
we just protect the town and the land trust.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's easier that
It's
way.
simple.
If it's gonna be that much trouble, it's really not that big of a piece of land, we can pass on it. Right?
It's not the size, it's the use. Yeah.
Alright, let's see, moving right along here. Number 5, CGS referral, Town Southbury 61 Peter Road, installation of a town fueling station with canopy, new site, utilities, utility building, and 2 6,000-gallon de-icing fluid tanks. This is the 824 referral we asked for, everybody read it? Everybody's comfortable with that? Okay. All in favor of it?
aye.
Well, no, we have to give a, we
We'll have
have
to do this
to,
quick
we have to give a
discussion.
we have to give a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen. That's what we have to do.
Well, we have that. Isn't
Yeah,
this letter right here?
Board of Selectmen sent it,
We have a,
the Board of Selectmen referred it to the Planning Commission.
Correct.
we have a letter signed by the first selectman right here in accordance to the 824 general statutes. I hereby request a recommendation from the planning commission for the installation of a town fueling station. And it's dated August the 25th.
And so that was a requirement of the
Yep.
approval,
Yep.
that they send a new one over, so
Yep.
that's what they've done. And it, what they're requesting is identical to what has been approved.
Right.
We still need to act on it.
Right, that's what you were doing.
So I'm making a motion that, we accept the plans presented and,
We accept as our condition we asked for. Right. Right, to satisfy our condition?
Right.
Everybody comfortable with that? This is what we asked for and we got it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Nancy, that sound okay to you?
What we've been asked for is a recommendation. A recommendation to approve, for the Board of Selectmen to, it's not a motion to approve the application. It's a recommendation back to the Board of Selectmen. That's what an 8-24 is.
Wait,
So the motion sounds a little different, yeah. So does this commission recommend the proposal, and then we send it back to the Board of Selectmen?
yeah, that's what we were gonna do right now. We're gonna vote on it and send it right back to them. And we're letting them know that that's met our requirement. It was one of our approval recommendations. Right. Nance, are you comfortable with this?
It sounds like an approval. It's not an approval. It's a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen to continue with the proposal. That's what it is. It's after the fact, so it's crazy, but
Okay, so we'll make a motion this is a recommendation back to the Board of Selectmen that we have received their recommendation for the 824 as part of the approval process for 61 Peter Road. How does that sound?
So, an 824 is actually either an approval or a denial, Nancy. It is by statute, that's how it goes. So, you can make a motion to approve the 824 referral from the Board of Selectmen for this, for whatever reasons it happens to be.
Yeah, that's the way I see it.
It's what we're trying to do, yeah. Okay, let's make that motion. We got it on the table.
Okay, motion I made.
Yep, and who seconded it? Harmon did. Okay, all in favor of it?
Aye.
Opposed?
opposed.
Okay. Abstentions? Okay. It passed.
Is that Charlie here now?
Charlie's here. We just passed and came back to you, Charlie. You're up. Let me reread that again. All right. Transylvania Brook Estates LLC, application for subdivision to allow a 7-lot cluster housing development on property located on South Britton Road in Planned Development District Number 21.
Can hang out a few plans?
Sure.
Might look familiar.
Am I supposed to do something
So
with
the
these?
reason we're here is just with legality.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sign those at the end.
Okay.
Legality
That'd be a lucky
purposes,
about that.
because, no, we didn't really change anything. What happened was, we got approved in June. From the zoning.
Just take the microphone just because we didn't hear it. Awesome, thank you.
So this is just the final step. This is the actual subdivision in the planning
Yes.
commission. You guys are the ones that have the authority to approve the
Yeah.
part of it.
So what happened, it went to zoning.
We had this for a while now.
Yeah, you reviewed it.
Yep.
And then went to, zoning, back to zoning. We got caught in the corona, it was June. And then Kathy came into effect, and really to really file the subdivision map, it has to be signed by planning, okay? So, we're back after zoning, there really is no changes. So it's for legality that we're back here. Nothing has really changed.
And all my questions have been answered, and everything complies with the zoning regulation and the zone change as presented before.
And this is the one with the flower that has to.
Yes,
and
yes,
the
yes.
tree and
Don't
the-
remind
Right,
me,
that's
yes.
the one, right, with
Yeah.
the rare tree, right?
That's right.
There was actually
And
one,
all of that is still in place, right?
yeah, there was, and the ticks.
And the ticks, we've
I
removed
think I
all
heard something about the
ticks.
ticks, it
Oh
was
my
the
gosh.
spot
And
with
that tree
ticks
is
that
still
year.
doing well?
Yeah, it was, but that, it was like 2017.
Okay, good.
So,
What's that? What do you need? Oh, no, I'm saying about the tree. The tree. You don't remember the tree? Yeah.
it wasn't really a tree, what it was
There was a- yeah, there was a
it was
branch.
actually one flower, it was a, I think think it was Flowering Seneca, don't quote me, even though I think it was, so it was this flower, and there was one found left in the right-of-way. But when they go to investigate the property for that particular plant, they look for anything else. So they found one plant that was like not this south. And they found another plant, and we protected one area that they requested on that. So the Seneca, I think it's Seneca. It's a flowering plant for bumblebees, and there was only one plant left, but because of that, they have to look at the whole property, and they found something else, so.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's where we're at, so I won't. Is there any questions?
So we already gave this approval once in the beginning, I think, right?
You'd never approved the subdivision approval. This is the subdivision application. So you recommended in favor of the zone change, you recommended in favor of the regulation amendment, and then you reviewed, I guess, the final detailed plans. I think you had to get referred to you too. It's a very cumbersome process.
That was back in January, I think.
Subdivision that we actually requested, I
Yeah.
believe, cluster housing.
Right.
It is, but what happened when you were looking at approving it, and I was looking at it, it was getting approved, that we were all set, and Kathy looked at it for legal purposes. We wanted to make sure, she wanted to make sure that it was done correctly, so she said we should go back to planning.
You have to legally, you can't make
Legally,
lots
yes.
if you don't have subdivision approval by the planning commission.
Yes, exactly. And even though you gave your approval, it was a referral.
You want a motion?
Yes, please.
Well, we have the resolution of approval
Oh, you
here.
have it? Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in your, everybody's got one. So if somebody wants to read that,
Can I ask a question, please?
Go ahead, Nance.
Is there a bond for the driveway?
Bond for the driveway?
you don't use
Yeah,
bonds for the
I-
driveways.
It's actually.
No, I see it for soil and erosion control, but I don't see one for the driveway.
You're not allowed to bond for private improvements, only public infrastructure, so there's no bond that you can do on any driveway or the private road here.
The private road either?
No,
So we
you
have no
can't. Only if
guarantee.
it's gonna
Okay.
become Public infrastructure is the only time you can bond.
Okay, I don't have the resolution.
There you go.
I thought we did have a conversation about the deeding or somehow having everybody, we had a conversation about how the maintenance of the private road is
That's right.
going to happen.
There is documents.
Kathy, have to read this into the record?
Yeah, so I've got that actually in the resolution of approval, that a private driveway maintenance agreement. Be
I can
prepared
read
and
it,
put in the-
you have
And-
to,
and
if you want me to.
It actually was drafted, the attorney drafted, but it has to get filed with the
I
document.
have two other ones I gotta read too.
Okay. So are we ready for me to read this? Or-
What's that? Oh, we have to read the
Good.
resolution first, then we'll take a vote.
All right. Resolution Transylvania Brook Estates, Roxbury Road and South Britton Road, Planned Development District Number 21, September 15th, 2020. Whereas at its meeting on September 15th, 2020, the Southbury Planning Commission received an application for approval of subdivision from Transylvania Brook Estates for property shown on the following. Record subdivision map entitled Subdivision Map, Transylvania Brook Estates, depicting cluster subdivision prepared for Transylvania Brook Estates LLC, Roxbury Road, Connecticut Route 67, and South Britton Road, Connecticut Route 172, Southbury, Connecticut, dated December 12th, 2017, revised on August 14th, 2020. Should that be? No, okay, sorry. Prepared by Charles Spath, Jr. LS, and existing conditions plan, Transylvania Brook Estates, prepared for Transylvania Brook Estates LLC, Roxbury Road, Connecticut Route 67, and South Britton Road, Connecticut Route 172, Southbury, Connecticut, dated December 12th, 2017, revised through August 14th, 2020, prepared by Charles Spath, Jr. LS, overall site plan for cluster residences, Transylvania Brook Estates, prepared for Transylvania Brook Estates LLC, Roxbury Road, Connecticut Route 67, and South Britton Road, Connecticut Route 172, Southbury, Connecticut, dated December 12th, 2017, revised through August 14th, 2020, prepared by John J. Mack, P.E. Soil erosion and sediment control plan, Transylvania Brook Estates, prepared for Transylvania Brook Estates LLC, Roxbury Road, Connecticut Route 67, and South Britain Road, Connecticut Route 172, Southbury, Connecticut, dated February 23rd, 2017, revised through August 14th, 2020, prepared by John J. Mack, P.E. Details, Transylvania Brook Estates, prepared for Transylvania Brook Estates LLC, Roxbury Road, Connecticut Route 67, and South Britain Road, Connecticut Route 172, Southbury, Connecticut, dated February 23rd, 2017, revised through August 14th, 2020. And notes, Transylvania Brook Estates, prepared for Transylvania Brook Estates LLC, Roxbury Road, Connecticut Route 67, South Britain Road, Connecticut Route 172, Southbury, Connecticut, dated February 23rd, 2017, revised through August 14th, 2020. Whereas the subject property is located in Planned Development District Number 21 and has been approved by Southbury Zoning Commission as a cluster housing development. Whereas the commission makes the following findings with regard to this application. This application proposes 7 lots on an 18.46 acre parcel. 6 of the lots will be located on a private road accessed off of Roxbury Road or Route 67, and the 7th lot will be accessed off of South Britain Road, Route 172. The subdivision proposes 5.787 acres of open space, which is to be accepted by the Southbury Land Trust. All lots satisfy the zoning regulations for PDD number 21 with regard to lot size, square, and frontage. The proposed private road meets the standards of zoning regulations for PDD 21. A 10,000-gallon fire tank is proposed. I'm sorry, do I need to number these as I go, or do you need me to?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. The Pomperaug District Department of Health has found all proposed lots suitable for on-site sewage disposal and wells. The State of Connecticut Department of Transportation has reviewed the project and has no further comments other than it will be necessary to apply for an encroachment permit prior to doing any work in the state right-of-way. The Inland Wetlands Commission approved this application on June 13th, 2017, under application number 1614, subject to conditions. Whereas the Planning Commission finds said application to substantially conform to subdivision regulations of the town of Southbury. Now therefore be it resolved that the above application is approved and the chairman or secretary is authorized to endorse the record map at such time as the applicant has satisfied the following modifications and administrative requirements. Presentation of 1 Mylar of the record map and 4 prints of all maps and plans as modified and approved by the commission. Presentation of deeds, easements, and related certificates of title in a form acceptable to the Planning Commission and Town Council as may be necessary for the following: a deed for proposed open space to be granted to the Southbury Land Trust, private road maintenance agreement, and conservation easement for the access and maintenance of the existing cited endangered plant over lot number 5 to be assigned to the Southbury Land Trust. Presentation of bonds in a form and amount acceptable to the Planning Commission and Town Council as may be necessary to secure completion of required improvements as proposed for the following: a bond in the amount of $5,250 for pins, 30 pins at $175 per pin, unless it is documented on our map that the pins have been set. A map in the amount of $50,000 for installation of 1 10,000-gallon underground fire protection water storage tank. A bond in the amount of $3,000 for sediment and erosion control for construction of the private road. The subdivision is subject to the following conditions, and the following notations shall be added to the record Mylar map. Lots 1 through 6 are served by a private road, which is subject to a private road maintenance agreement to be filed on the land records. This subdivision is to be served by a 10,000-gallon underground fire protection water storage tank. No certificates of occupancy will be issued for any dwellings located within the subdivision until the underground fire protection water storage tank is installed to the satisfaction of the fire marshal. Transylvania Brook Estates Cluster Subdivision is located in Planned Development District Number 21. A time limit of 90 days from the date of expiration of the appeal period is set, during which time the applicant shall have satisfied all of the above modifications to allow for signing of the final record Mylar map. All right, so let's take it. Sure.
All right, so to approve? All right, and any discussion before we take a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? It's passed. Thank you, guys.
All right, sure. That's a longer one, right? Good night.
All right, let's see here. We're already done, actually.
So, I'm gonna prepare a motion of approval, resolution of approval for the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Comcast Inc. request forward release of the performance bond in the amount of $50,000 for temporary soil extraction permit, 2120 River Road.
So everybody got a memo from our land use enforcement officer on this, and she inspected it, walked it, everything looked good. So she recommends that it be released.
Motion to approve the release of the performance bond
I'll
as
second it.
stated.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Passed. All right, number 7, accept for public hearing. Kristen M. Beluco, special exception and site plan application to allow a takeout food service restaurant under section 3.1, Schedule A, Line C, 8.3 on property located at 220 Main Street South, unit number 7, in the B-2A zone. Suggested public hearing date will be October the 20th, 2020. Everybody good with that? Okay. Do we have anything on that at all, or we don't have to do anything until then, right?
Now, you could, if you could just make a motion to,
Yeah.
Okay.
that the public hearing can be on that date.
All right, I'll make a motion to have the hearing on that October 20th, 2020. Okay, Ron, thank you. All in favor?
Aye. Do we know-
Opposed?
Aye.
Is this, do we know what building it is? It's,
It's for
is it-
Farmers Insurances now, there's a restaurant, the pizza place, what's that one?
Yeah.
Mikey's
oh,
is in there too.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Mike Jersey or whatever that is?
Oh, Jersey Mike's was, but it's now Mikey's Place? Uh-huh.
Julia's, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Julio's in there.
okay. But it's a totally different place, okay.
Okay, so, all opposed? None? Abstentions? Okay, passed. Thank you. Other business reminder of upcoming public hearing, all right, October 20th, 2020. Proposed amendment to the Southbury subdivision regulations, section 4.12.9 guardrails.
You don't have to do anything with those are just reminders for you.
Okay, so everyone's comfortable with that? Petition designation of scenic road status for Jeremy Swamp, we're good with that? All right, and petition, the pedestrian study on the September 30th, okay. Perfect, let's see, next, staff and member reports, anybody? Anything at all? No, okay, excellent. Any correspondence? Let's see what we got here. I don't see any here, do I have any, Mike?
No correspondence.
No correspondence in the
No.
folder. All right, let's see here. Minutes. Special meeting minutes of July the 29th, 2020. I don't see them here in my pile, but I can pull them up in a second.
I did have a couple of,
Were we all here? I can't see them. Do we have a copy anywhere?
everyone was here, yeah.
Everybody was here?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, we make a motion to approve them, and then we'll
and then we'll go through.
make an
Yeah.
addendum. whatever
I
we
move
want
to
delete.
approve the minutes.
Okay, so we'll make a motion to approve, and then we'll just do the amendment. Want to do it that way?
Yeah,
Wanna
or we
talk about
can
it first?
discuss it and then as amended.
Sure, let's do it that way.
So I had on page 3, what starts as, on a motion by Commissioner Conti, seconded by Commissioner Andrews, and was passed with one member opposed. It shouldn't read, it was unanimous, because we did have somebody opposed, so it should be with one member opposed to allow Vice Chairman Tierney. So, right. So if we could take out, it was unanimous, and then also in the same, in that end sentence, for this particular request. I also, page 4, the first, what I have is the first line. She continued per state statute. That should be S-T-A-T-U-T-E, not stature. And then page 5, the second paragraph, Commissioner Gittens. The final sentence, the commission should speak with legal, that should be counsel, which should be C-O-U-N-S-E-L. Just a consul is something different. And then page 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth paragraph, Commissioner Gittens questioned. I believe the final sentence, I believe I was raising concerns about vehicles idling during loading and unloading, not with the loading and unloading of chemicals, but with vehicles idling during loading and unloading.
Tab, you're getting this?
I can give you these if you prefer. Okay. And then on that same page, First Selectman Manville commented on the firing range. Security cameras will be put in place. Just needs an I. And I think, finally, page 8, Commissioner Gittens, it's, let's see, 1, 2, it's the paragraph that starts, Commissioner Gittens, for the safety of employees filling trucks instead of filing trucks. I know these were long minutes, so super easy to, I think that's it. That's all I have.
Filing.
It says filing instead of filling. Right. It's not reading your mind, unfortunately. Thank you for all your work on these minutes. That was a really long meeting to summarize. That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody else on that 1 minute, that till July 29th meeting? Okay, so need a motion to approve with Alex's changes and amendments. Ron Conte, second?
I'll second.
Alex, all in favor of approving the amended minutes?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Approved. All right, and then we have the minutes from the August 13th, 2020 meeting. August 13th, here we are. The only one absent was Bernard, so we're okay there. We were all here. Anyone have any changes on this?
Yes, Nancy,
Nancy?
can you hear me? Yes. I don't know what page it's on, I just took the notes there, but regarding the firing range, it was stated in the minutes that my concern about the safety there was not just for the fuel tanks. Those there for, it was for the site, not just the fuel tanks, the firing range.
Requested that,
Paragraph?
That's number one. That's number one. I can scroll down again.
Yeah, August 13th. It's in that big pile of, oh, we're online, sorry. It was in a big email. There's a bunch of them. Like 10 PDFs.
so this is for the August 13th meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
It was on the email sent by Deb on
Yeah,
September 11th.
I don't know what she's referring to. Where,
The very bottom one says agenda.
but Nancy, where are you, what is your request to amend the minutes? What are you asking about?
Yes.
I
Yes.
see that there was you requested there be a second gate around the firing range, but
No. It was, okay. I have to go scroll down here again. Sorry, but it was about the safety for the proximity of the firing range. And it wasn't just in consideration of the tanks. It was we talked about the personnel, we talked about drivers, we talked about, it wasn't just for because of the proximity to the tanks. Can't find it. Sorry, I can't find it. Okay. That's all I have.
Okay, anyone else?
I did have a question about the minutes. Sorry, this one I didn't print out, so I apologize. I wasn't sure whether it was me or Nancy who asked about how unauthorized persons would be prevented from accessing the site considering an increase in vehicles on the site. I thought that was Nancy asking that question, but I don't object to it being attributed to me, so that's fine. That's on page 2, sorry, final paragraph. And then the only other thing I saw was on page 4, where it says Commissioner Clark stated she had never seen politics, or I think the word is bullying.
Yes.
Not bullying, although there might have been some of that. No, I'm just kidding. That's just.
Definitely, no doubt. Alright. So bullying.
Bullying instead of bullying. I don't, maybe that's what you meant, Nancy. I don't mean
No,
to.
that's exactly what you meant.
No, you're absolutely correct. Also, down further where it says Commissioner Clark asked where the equipment is going to be located, it wasn't equipment. It was the existing materials, because there are Jersey barriers there and trucks there and trailers there and a whole bunch of other town materials. It wasn't just equipment.
Are we in the same minutes, Nance? Where?
813.
What's, yeah. At the very bottom?
813. 813, it's after no members of the public wish to speak, right after that.
So that's page 3, 1, 2,
Okay.
3, 4, the 4th paragraph down. Commissioner Clark asked where equipment is going to be located with this new use on the site.
Right, okay.
It wasn't equipment, it was existing town materials.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else?
All right.
Okay.
I move to approve the minutes of the special meeting on August 13th,
I'll second
as
it.
amended.
I'll second it as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? And the minutes have passed. Thank you, everybody. All right. Moving right along here, under bills. Alter Pearson, LLC bill for professional services regarding town, I thought we approved this last month.
You approved a different one. This is a new, this was a new bill.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we see it?
Did print.
I don't remember seeing that one. Did you ever see it? Was it in that pile too?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I did looking at that. I
I thought there were two bills.
Because there were two. Yeah, I'm looking at this one here. This is the one. This must be the same. I thought it was the same one as last time. 4,095, right? Yeah, right. This is different.
Yeah, the other one was like 500 something.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, so, right, so the previous one was 585, I'm assuming? And then, because the last bill that we've received is 4,680? So we have a balance. What's that? No, if you look at the agenda, the last item that we have, number, that, yeah, that was printed out. Yes. But we had a previous balance of $1,170, I guess. And we paid,
Do you have it or no?
Yep, we're good.
Oh, okay, got it.
All right, motion to approve it.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of approving the bill? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain. Two abstains. Two abstains. Okay.
And did Nancy vote on that?
Nancy? Nance?
Yes,
Is that
Aye.
a yea or a nay to approve the bill?
that's a yay.
I'm sorry? Yay. Yay, okay, thank you.
Yes,
Passed.
yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, it's passed, thank you. All right. All right. Any other business that's in front of the commission? Anybody? No? Okay. So, we're to the end here. We can make a motion to adjourn at this point.
Move to adjourn.
All in favor of adjourning? Aye.
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 Nancy?
Aye, yeah, yeah.